I think when I started my business, I was working on a project and I had a team of architects who was working on that. Right? And what I learned is I used to work with very talented people in that team who were there and building the trust. And that's is the number one thing. And your integrity. That is the lesson I learned, that if your customer can trust you, you won the game already. So your integrity, your trust, you already need to hold on to that. I think it's a advice that I got from childhood from my parents.
Very true.
Okay, because you got to do what you say.
Yes.
Even if you are making loss, because you committed, you got to do that. Right? You cannot sit back from there, say that I can do that. So that means you are losing your integrity. So those are the important things. Doesn't matter whatever you do, your personal life, professional life.
Right.
I give emphasis to those two things.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's Warren Buffett was giving a talk at one of these, I think, Wharton Business School, and he said the number one most important skill is trust. Because if you have somebody who's very smart, obviously you want that as second.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have somebody that's very smart but is not trustworthy, is cunning, they're the one that could make the nuclear bomb, right? The brain. But yeah, so thank you for that advice. That's a great thing. And I think for entrepreneurs also, building the trust, credibility with your customers, with your partners, with your VCs, whoever it is, right? If you're not trustworthy, if you're not come through what you promised,
your own employees.
Exactly, to your own employees, right? Then you one can't go for. Biggest mistake you made and what you learned. We all make mistakes every day. The ones that you made, you learned the most.
I think the mistake that I made, I don't know if I call it a mistake or it's a deliberate decision, that I always wanted to be a boutique firm and build things that really works and give that service that customers being happy. Didn't put a lot of attention to scale it up a lot. My consulting business, because we've been solving complicated problems, large scale project, architecture, solutions, and those we thought that that's what we are going to do. But I feel like now we could have looked at growth, right? And also, being a technology person, you probably need to rely on someone else to scale it up. Not everything is that you can solve.
So you can only focus on your core competency, which is in your case was technical, solving tough problems. Great advice. Focus on your core competency, but also look into scaling, because if you don't scale fast, then things change, technologies change, and gets outdated. So scale.
That's exactly what we are doing in the product. Well, that's the lesson learned, is that move fast because things are changing.
That's right.
And customers' demand is changing.
Yes.
So you got to move faster.
And that's why Zacco is important as well, because you want to know insights now, right? And you want to be able to change the reports on the fly, based on the insights that are coming in. Not build reports they'll take months to make, and then they're kind of stuck there. You don't even use it. And it's just too complex. One thing you wish you knew when you started Xfusion. Well, I guess in a way that the whole scaling thing is also kind of important. Like if you use this scaling aspect, I would think. But if there's anything else, let us know.
Started Xfusion. I failed twice before that. One was not our mistake. It was those days the Wall Street market crash, and every lights was off, and investors pulled off, and those kind of stuff happened. We had to shut down our business, took a backpack, going to San Francisco every day, spending 6 hours to 8 hours on the road. Yes, I did that. The thing is that I learned that lesson from those businesses which we couldn't move forward. And here, when I started Xfusion, I started it in a little bit different way, reducing less external dependencies, building the foundation first, and make it productive and profitable as soon as you can.
That's awesome.
Those are the things so what is happening is here, you got to have a solid foundation that can sustain a lot of stress and pressure, right? If you fall at that with a little weight, then you are not going to move. So that's what we are trying to do from day one. So we had a solid foundation, customer trust us. We are not a 500 people, 1,000 people company, but what we do it right.